Now, everyone on YouTube is doing these holiday gift guide videos. I figured I'd do one too. Now that Black Friday is over, we've still got Christmas ahead of us. So I will be going over what we think are some great gift ideas for the holiday season. But before we get into it, I'm Shane and welcome to Spare Change. If you're an audio and video enthusiast and want to keep up on the latest AV tech and highest quality movies, consider becoming a subscriber for new weekly content. Alright, the list I have here is mainly audio and video tech products. So if you're looking for underwear or shaving items, this is the wrong video. Let's start off with a huge category. Everyone seems to want to cut the cord, so these are our best picks for media streamers. Our favorite device over here is the Apple TV 4K. It's got Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision support, and video quality is the closest I've seen to an actual 4K Blu-ray using iTunes Movies. If you're invested in the Apple ecosystem, your music, videos, and photos are easily accessible from the Apple TV. It isn't cheap, nor is it ridiculously expensive. It's $180 for the 32 gig version or $200 for the 64 gig version. Don't want to spend that much? Check out the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. HDR and Dolby Atmos are here, and it only costs $60. I think video quality isn't quite as good as the Apple TV 4K, but hey, it's $60. Don't have that much spare change lying around? The Fire Stick 4K will most likely be the hot buy again this year. And it's only $50. All the big apps are on board, plus more in the Amazon App Store. And I think you can do other things with these Fire Sticks as well. At least that's what I've been hearing. Are these streaming devices a little too pedestrian? Do you want the best device to enjoy your movies? Check out the Kaleidoscape Strato. This is more in the upper end of the spectrum, but you do get bit-for-bit 4K quality for video and audio. It comes at a price though. It's something like $6 grand, but this is top shelf stuff. I know, you don't want to stream. You want physical media. Let's talk about some of the best 4K Blu-ray players. Let's start off by keeping it budget. The LG UBK90 is a budget player, but will give you some solid playback for a low price of only $150. This is going to work very nicely with your LG OLED. If you've got a Sony TV, for the same price, you can grab the Sony X700. It's got HDR and Dolby Vision, plus streaming apps. Build quality for both these players aren't exactly the greatest, but hey, they don't cost that much. Now, without breaking the bank, the best looking player I've tried this year is the Panasonic UB820. It's got an HDR optimizer feature, which will let you tailor the HDR output according to the capabilities of your TV. No other player is doing that right now, and it does work wonders for lower nit TVs and projectors. Dolby Vision is supported, and the upcoming HDR10 Plus will work on this player too. And of course, you'll have streaming apps. This one costs $500, but for the performance you get, I think it's worth the asking price. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, Panasonic's UB9000 has the same features as the 820 with its excellent HDR optimizer, but adds higher build quality and audiophile connections like XLRs. It even has a dedicated power supply for its audio outputs to improve sound quality. This won't be cheap, however, coming in at $1,000. Now, you can't use a streamer or a 4K Blu player without a display, right? How about a TV? One of the best looking and cost-effective TVs you can grab is going to be the TCL 5 series. A 55-incher will run you $450. It's got both flavors of HDR with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. It's got some very nice color and looks great with 4K content. Remember, it is under $500, but I think it is a much better choice than going with any lower-end LG, Samsungs, or even Sharps. If you've got a little more spare change, the VIZIO P series has got some excellent color, looks fantastic with 4K HDR content with either HDR10 or Dolby Vision, and will only set you back $1,200 for the 65-inch or $800 for the 55-inch. It's a native 120Hz panel and is a full array backlit set. For a little more money, Sony's 900F series gets brighter for HDR content with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. It has better viewing angles, great motion handling, and better smart features using the Android operating system. And the word is, it will be updated to the forthcoming IMAX enhanced standards. Now, for even a little bit more spare change, you can step up to LG's C series of OLEDs. A 55-inch will run you $1,800 and a 65 is $2,800. This is LG's most popular sets and has been kind of the standard for image quality for quite some time now. It's got the best black levels in the business, and colors on the OLEDs look amazing. You'll of course have just about every flavor of HDR on board with HDR10, Dolby Vision, HLG, and Technicolor. I'm not sure who uses that, but it's there. Now, if you want to step into one more level or maybe take a sidestep, you can grab Sony's A9F line of OLEDs. A 55-inch will cost you $3,500 and a 65 is $4,500. It's a bit of a jump, but you do get the best sounding TV on the market with its 3-channel acoustic surface technology. Your TV sound will actually come straight out of the screen, and it's got some baby-sized subwoofers built in. There's a newer, faster version of Android TV, support for HDR and Dolby Vision, and the only TV to have the special Netflix mode, which seems to be like IMAX enhanced, that the A9F will also support as well. Alright, we've got media content and something to watch them on. How about the sound? From low to high, let's talk about receivers. Coming in at $280 is the ONKYO TX-NR676. It's 7.2 channels and rated at quote-unquote 210 watts per channel. It's got dual zones and is wireless streaming capable. There's 7 HDMI inputs, so there should be plenty of room for any equipment you've got. I've owned many ONKYOs and they've always had great surround decoding and great features. For a little more money, we've got the DENON AVRX 2500. This one is $600, but you step up to Amazon Alexa support, has HEOS wireless capabilities if you want to run multi-room audio, and it's a 7-channel receiver rated at 95 watts each. DENONs are excellent with movie playback, and I think a solid performer for a reasonable price. Let's double that and step up to the MARANTZ SR6013. This guy is $1,500 and gets you 9 channels of amplification, rated at 110 watts per channel. If you add an additional 2-channel amp, you can have 11 channels of surround processing if you've got a larger room. Of course, HEOS multi-room audio streaming is here, along with Apple's AirPlay 2, Amazon Alexa, Google's Assistant, and Siri support, just in case you want to tell your receiver what to do. It has Audacy's best version of room correction, and if you love to tweak your sound, you have a dedicated Audacy app to set your frequency curves and anything else you can possibly think of. Well, maybe not anything else. If you want a great, well-rounded receiver for both movies and music, the 6013 is a solid choice. Oh, and it supports IMAX Enhanced too. Now, if you want the big daddy of receivers, the DENON 8500H is probably the one for you. This guy has support for 15 channels of surround sound goodness. It's got everything the Marantz 6013 has, and more. Just like the other receivers, you'll have Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, and the only one on the list with Aural 3D. It's got a beefy power supply that should run almost any speaker setup and is rated at 150 watts per channel. If you've got yourself a multi-row home theater, this one should be on your short list. It's not cheap though, it'll run you $4,500. But for the feature set compared to others on the market, I think this is a steal. Okay, we've got the receiver, now you'll need some speakers. If you're on a budget and want a quick all-in-one solution, the Definitive Technology PC600 speaker system is a great deal. As of this video, it's only $350, down from $800. It's a 5-satellite speaker setup with a subwoofer. It comes with speaker stands, or you can have them wall mounted. They're small, unobtrusive, and sound better than just about any soundbar at any price. I think this is a safe buy if you're just starting out in home theater and you've got a small budget. Alright, let's take it up a notch. For $300 a pair, the KEF Q series of bookshelf speakers are hard to beat. Pair that with the Q center channel speaker for $650, and you can build from there. A 7-channel setup would run you $1,550. They do make an angled surround speaker you can use for Atmos or DTS-X that costs $500 a pair, so you can build up as you need more channels for immersive audio. These are KEF's more affordable line, but they have their UniQ driver setup that sound very detailed and very accurate. If you don't want to do their bookshelves, they do offer towers in the Q line. Now, if you're thinking of picking up some other big mass-produced line of speakers, I think you owe it to yourself to give the KEF lineup a listen. Okay, let's take it up another notch. The Bowers & Wilkins 606s. These bookshelf speakers go for $800 a pair and are in the middle of the 600 lineup. These, I think, are a bit livelier than the KEFs and have some better bass response if you're not going to use a subwoofer. There's a matching HT-M6 center channel speaker that retails for $600, and you can either use the 606s for surround duty or go with their smaller 607s that sell for $600 a pair for sides or surrounds. A 7-channel setup will run you $2,600 and will be awesome for both movies and music. And I've got one more. I'm sure most of you probably haven't heard of the brand, but it's a brand I think sounds fantastic and maybe a little underrated. The Atlantic Technology 6200 setup. These are large bookshelf speakers that have optional pedestals if you like the tower look. They retail for $25.50 a pair and can be used in any channel in a surround system. There is a matching center channel that costs $14.50, and like the bookshelf models, they all have controls on the rear to compensate for being behind a projection screen or near walls. If you're doing an Atmos setup, they offer $500 Atmos reflective speakers, the 44 DAs. These are meant to sit on top of the main channels or as standalones that you can place on a shelf. I've personally owned 3 of their systems throughout the years, and I found they have a very neutral sound. They don't add or take away from movie soundtracks, they just presented it in a natural, non-fatiguing, yet detailed way. They're very home theater focused, and I like that quality about them, cause let's face it, I don't listen to music in my home theater. If there's a place you can listen to these, I think it'd definitely be worth your time. Now, there's obviously a ton of other speaker systems you can piece together, but these are the ones I think sound great, and I think they're reasonably priced. And yes, I did not include Bose for a reason. Now, before we end the video, the one thing everyone that has a surround sound setup should own is a sound level meter. These are super cheap, cost like $35. When people comment and ask, hey Shane, how loud should my surround channels be? Well, if you had a sound level meter, you could use the built-in test tone in your receiver or processor and level match all your speakers. It's super easy and one of the first things that you should do right after connecting all the speakers and hitting the power button, a sound level meter. It's the perfect stocking stuffer. All right, that's all I got for now. I know, I didn't talk about subwoofers or projectors or even movies. I didn't want the video to be painfully long, so maybe I'll do it in another video. Let me know if that's a video you want to see. Like I said, these are just some of my ideas of the equipment I wouldn't mind owning for a long time. If there's something you'd recommend, leave it in the comments. If there's a piece of gear that I mentioned in the video that you want to check out, I'll leave a link for it down below in the description. Thanks for checking out the video, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.